In the last thrilling issue, Mercy Graves betrayed Superman and the Super Family. But is this all part of a much bigger Lex Luthor scheme, or has Mercy gone rogue all on her own? Well, let's hop into the pages of Superman issue number 25 and find out what happens next together, shall we, in this landmark issue. So then, as we open up with this brand new issue, Joshua Williamson actually takes us back in time a little bit as to better explain Lex Luthor's whole trap that was the creation of Supercorp, right down to a fun little animated propaganda video that showed him and Superman working together. FYI, Luthor absolutely hated it because he hates the idea of him being a cartoon. The plot itself was really quite devious. Luthor would let himself be taken to jail, wherein Superman would reach out to him for assistance in running the brand new corporation for the betterment of the city, while in turn Luthor would manipulate Superman in taking out his old foes, Farm and Graft. And if everything went to plan, after a while Superman would become so reliant on Lex and Supercorp, Luthor would be able to completely co-opt the Man of Steel and his image from the inside out. Well, that was at least supposed to be phase 1 of the plan. Mercy says they should also be sure to keep their Plan B, Project XL, waiting in the wings in case things should go wrong. Lex didn't like that idea very much because having a Plan B is almost admitting that their initial plan could fail. Though fail it certainly did, Superman and Lex started working together and actually ended up gaining some pretty substantial victories as a duo. After that, Lex lost his memory and might actually have had a real deal change of heart. This is why Mercy has now decided to go rogue and activate Project XL, a perfect clone of Lex, complete with all of his memories but also all the powers of Superman, a Luthor that she could finally give her whole heart over to. And indeed, this clone Lex is just as cruel to Superman and Superwoman as he is his own daughter, Lena. Now, hey, speaking of that whole giving your heart business, that actually really goes a long way to explain why Mercy did what she did. You see, once Lex actually did end up getting his lost memories back, he never did end up losing his love for her. In fact, in a flashback, we see Lex saying, let's just forget the whole plan, let's forget everything, let's just leave Metropolis. So long as we have each other, I don't need anything else. This probably should have been a beautiful moment for Mercy, but in reality, it ended up doing the exact opposite. Lex was officially no longer the man she fell in love with. Turns out she actually always did love the cruel, mean-spirited, megalomaniacal, small man bully that Lex always was, which is really sad, but also gives me hope that we can all find someone who can love us for who we are. This is why when Mercy thought that the real Lex was becoming too soft and too good, she decided to grow herself a new one in the form of XL, who I guess would be Connor's, what, brother, father? You know, I just want to know where to put him on the whole Clark Kal-El family tree. Now, Lex-L is incredibly strong, but Superman and Superwoman are also feeling the residual effects of Mercy's kryptonite heart, meaning they end up getting knocked around quite a fair amount. It really does seem right now that the only person who could end up saving them is actually Lex himself, who sadly is currently being locked back up in prison. It's a good thing, however, that for once, his whole two-way message watch thing actually ends up working in reverse, and he hears the message about everything that's going down at Supercorp. But who ends up breaking him out? Well, you'll never believe it. It's actually the returning Marilyn Moonlight. Oh yeah, it's been so long since we've seen her, I almost forgot about her, and the fact that she actually had a vendetta against Lex too that she wants to deliver, but one that she's willing to put on hold if it means the betterment of the city. This also means that the big climactic finale of this issue will see good guy Luthor, who has grown so much as a person and as a character, doing battle against a darker, twisted version of himself who gained amazing powers but lost any and all of his humanity along the way. This is just great stuff right here. Hell, it's made even better too as Luthor ends up summoning his classic green combat armor, which we haven't seen in a little bit. Hell, even Clark and Lois implicitly understand the severity of this situation and decide that they're going to fly around the city and save innocent bystanders while Lex has it out with Lex. After all, this really is his own battle to have against his shadow. And at first, he actually ends up doing pretty good. In fact, he hits the clone XL so hard he ends up malfunctioning and speaking in Bizarro speak. Yes, it would seem that Mercy's first foray into solo villainy isn't exactly going so well. This is exactly why Luthor didn't want to use a Kryptonian clone of himself, mainly because all of his other attempts ended up failing so spectacularly, like when he ended up creating the New 52 version of Bizarro, and now XL is basically another one of those. The hero's rally against a weakened XL, but he refuses to go down without a fight. If he's going to have a short shelf life, then he might as well destroy Metropolis so no one can have it. Again, Luthor's inadequacies as a man here are on full display here. Superman stole the love of Metropolis from him. And well, he just kinda never recovered from it, did he? In fact, Clone XL gets quite creepy and skeevy with Superwoman, saying how before he never quite had the stones to make any of this happen, but now he has the power to do whatever he wants, and once he kills Superman and Superwoman, he's gonna kill the whole super family. All of this really ends up getting under Lois's skin in a big bad way, so much to the point that she absolutely unloads on XL with full force. Keep this in mind because this might actually be important later. The heat vision truly messes XL up, but it's not enough to stop him, just make him very ugly and very angry. Luthor goes out of his way to try his hardest to get his clone to see the light like he did. He says that while he may not have created him, he still feels responsible for him and he wants to help him in any way he can, again showing a great amount of growth from Lex. Oh, but old XL is too power mad and too arrogant to hear any of it. In fact, he ends up cutting the mother of all heel promos on the very man he was cloned from.
Can you hear yourself? You would never help an enemy, especially Superman, ever. You betray everything we are. You forget why you did what we do. This city owes us. This world owes us, and yet you allow yourself to become this. You are a failure. You are not Lex Luthor.
And wouldn't you know it, it's at that moment right there the original Lex decides to let it be known exactly who the real Lex Luthor is by shooting his clone in the head. Superman is obviously shocked and horrified about this turn of events that Lex, even after having come so far and learned so much, could still take the life of a sentient being. Luthor stands his ground though, resolute in the idea that he did a terrible thing for a good reason. XL never would have stopped coming until they were all dead. As he puts it, Superman might very well be the Man of Steel, but Lex Luthor is the true Man of Tomorrow, making the hard choices and doing what the hero could never do. This heart-rending breakup moment ends up getting interrupted though as the comic comes to a close. You see, Lois lets it be known by everyone around her that she seems to have lost her amazing superpowers in that battle. Was it because of all that exposure to kryptonite, or was it because of all the energy she exuded during that heat vision blast? Well, I guess we're gonna have to pick up the next issue to find out, won't we? And so that was Superman issue number 25, everybody, and if you couldn't tell, I thought this one was another real jewel in the super crown that is Joshua Williamson's run on this book. There's just so many great complex emotions going on in this story, so much nuance. I love getting to see characters like Lex and Mercy in new lights, and this series really does them all the favors in the world. This is a story where Joshua Williamson really honors how far Lex Luthor has come as a character in this story, how much he has grown, how much he understands though, but how at the end of the day, a tiger can't change its stripes. And Lex is always going to end up being Lex one way or another, for good or for ill. It's just so affecting on a narrative level, and then you have Superman who seems genuinely heartbroken in this situation because he feels like he truly got through to Lex on this one, only for him to miss the biggest test. It's just all great stuff from start to finish, and I cannot wait to see what Williamson does next. This really has been promised to be the biggest year in Superman comics in a long time, with the new movie coming out and the new Dan Slott book starting. Overall, I think I'd feel comfortable giving this one another very well deserved 9 out of 10. Just great stuff.
Hey there everyone, it's your old pal Cape Joel again, thanking you so much for watching to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, why not check out my Amazon link down in the description. Yes, that's right, the Cape Joel channel officially has its own Amazon storefront now. You can pick up a comic or anything else for that matter, and if you did, you'd really be helping me in the channel. So with that out of the way everyone, I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.